There's water flowing under every shoe. Water flowing under me, flowing under you. This water is given from high, high above. Oh, this water is God's great love.
Parshat Masei, Journeys, Numbers 33:1 through 36:13. Masei outlines the 42 stops along the way on our wilderness journey. The blessing. Sometimes I think of my life as one long, interesting journey. Masei reminds me that every journey takes place in stages, and each stage carries its own distinct blessing to be unwrapped and savored, its own messages to be gleaned and digested. The word Masei really refers to the setting forths that we do. As each stage of a journey comes to an end, we pull up our stakes and moves on, initiating a new adventure. At each stage of the journey, I become aware of my own transformation. I'm never the same adventurer who set forth the last time. 42 stops or stages along the Israelite paths are enumerated and named. Each stopping point on the journey holds a blessing for us. The Baal Shem Tov reminds us, whatever happens to the people as a whole will happen to each individual. All the 42 journeys of the children of Israel will occur to each person between the time he is born and the time he dies. We recount the itinerary of our wanderings in order to receive the lessons and blessings of each stage of our journey. As we become aware of the significance of each stage, we can receive its benefit. It is our awareness and appreciation that transform our story into a blessing. The spiritual challenge. It is important to remember at each stage of our journey that we will encounter some obstacle or resistance. However annoying, difficult, or devastating that obstacle is, its presence can call forth a particular power that lies hidden within us. The way in which the obstacle compels us to transform demonstrates the exact transformation our soul needs for its growth. I'm going to repeat that. The way in which the obstacle compels us to transform demonstrates the exact transformation our soul needs for its growth. In fact, the potential that lies buried within us often require an appropriate challenge in order to be released and manifested. I'm going to repeat that. In fact, the potentials that lie buried within us often require an appropriate challenge in order to be released and manifested. It is more than a strange coincidence that the secret, unpronounceable name of God that can dissolve the obstacles in our lives has 42 letters. Perhaps each letter represents one stage in our journey, and the magic power of this name lies in its potential to embrace all the stages at once. Rabbi Nechunya ben Hakana, who lived in the second half of the 1st century CE, wrote a special prayer with 42 words, the initials of which comprise the 42-letter divine name. The first line is, Ana Bechoa, Gedulat Yemincha, Tatir Torah. Please, with the strength of your right hand, untie our tangles. Rabbi Nechunya wanted to be able to pronounce the unpronounceable, to call out and call forth the reality of the whole in order to deal with the stubborn tangles that keep us stuck. We move through our obstacles by knowing them in the context of our life's journey. The spiritual challenge of Masei lies in seeing the big picture, even as we are stopped along the way by seemingly insurmountable resistances or difficulties. Those impossible challenges that we face represent the work of our soul's growth. Understanding that the obstacles are the point of the journey may help us manage the pain or despair that we may experience as we encounter these inevitable difficulties along the way. At the time of my divorce, this is Shefa speaking, years ago, the pain of my broken heart seemed unbearable. My tears filled up every crevice of my being and overflowed until I could barely imagine ever feeling happy again. At some point, a small, wise voice spoke inside me and said, "In a year, you'll feel just fine, maybe even better than fine." I believed that voice, embraced its promise, and had a moment's vision of myself a year from then, filled with joy. Then I saw the year ahead, during which I knew I would be doing the hard work of grieving and healing from not only this divorce, but from every loss I had ever suffered. Can't I just skip this year? I whined. We learn from Masei that every stage is essential to the journey. There are no shortcuts, no way to skip over the challenges. Even what seemed like mistakes or dead ends or wrong turns along the way can provide us with the necessary raw ingredients for wisdom. Those ingredients must be prepared with self-compassion, unwavering attention, cooked with patience and humility, and served up with a sense of humor. A ritual for honoring the journey. I originally conceived this ritual to honor a friend's 50th birthday, that she might look back and receive the blessing and lessons of her journey thus far and release whatever might be weighing her down from the past. Preparation. Invite friends and loved ones and set a beautiful table. Prepare a special cup for each decade of your life and fill each cup with your most favorite drink from that era. For example, you might fill your 0 to 10 cup with chocolate milk, your 10 to 20 cup with root beer, your 20 to 30 cup with coffee, your 30 to 40 cup with fine brandy, etc. Begin the ritual by welcoming everyone and chanting Kosi Rivaya, which comes from Psalm 23. Kosi Rivaya, my cup overflows. The cup of the first decade is then passed around the table. Each person reflects on that decade of their own life and shares what it is they learned from that stage of the journey. If the ritual is honoring a specific person's passage, he or she receives the cup last to drink in the blessings of wisdom that the others have gathered. The cup can then be passed around once more, and if someone would like to let go of a shame or a blame or a regret that they may be carrying from that time in their life, they can release it into the cup, either aloud or silently. After each cup, everyone chants Kosi Rivaya. As you pass from decade to decade, only those who have lived in that decade can take the cup and share. So gradually, the younger people become silent and may benefit from listening to the wisdom and experience of their elders. At the end of the ritual, each person can choose to sip from the cup that represents a time from their life that holds a lesson they need to remember and integrate right now. Shabbat Shalom.